Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Renu Kataria with the Midday News. The headlines. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 4-day visit to Slovenia, Croatia and Denmark beginning today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to inaugurate a slew of projects in Karnataka. Over 66 crore 30 lakh vaccine doses of COVID-19 administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.48%. Mandatory RT-PCR test for passengers arriving in Mumbai from Europe, China, Middle East and a few more countries. Kabul is set to announce the new Afghanistan government. In Bihar, nomination for the first phase of Panchayat elections begins. Chandan Mitra, former Rajya Sabha member and journalist, passes away. Vice President, Prime Minister and Information and Broadcasting Minister express grief. Indian Navy hands over 2 mobile oxygen plants to Bangladesh to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. India to take on England in the 4th cricket match today at the Oval, London. And on the 9th day of Tokyo Paralympics, Indian players participating in shooting, badminton, canoe sprint, taekwondo and shot put. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will be on a 4-day visit to Slovenia, Croatia and Denmark beginning today. He will hold a bilateral meeting with the Foreign Minister of Slovenia, Dr. Hans Logar. Slovenia has invited Dr. Jaishankar to attend an informal meeting of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of European Union member states. He will also hold discussions with his European Union counterparts on issues of mutual interest. Slovenia currently holds the presidency of the Council of the European Union. During his visit to Croatia tomorrow, he will hold bilateral talks with his Croatian counterpart Gordon Grlić Radman. Dr. Jaishankar will be in Denmark on the 4th and 5th of September, where he will co-chair the 4th round of the Indo-Danish Joint Commission meeting. The meeting will undertake a comprehensive review of the bilateral cooperation under the Green Strategic Partnership, which was established during the virtual summit in September last year. Dr. Jaishankar's visit will provide an opportunity for reviewing the progress in bilateral ties with the 3 Central European countries and for strengthening the multifaceted relationship with the European Union. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has said various development issues would be discussed during the visit of Union Home Minister Amit Shah and other central ministers to Karnataka today. Speaking to media persons at Hubballi Airport yesterday, the Chief Minister had said that some of the projects that are to be taken up by the Union government would also be discussed. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is arriving in Hubballi this afternoon and will proceed to Davangere to inaugurate Gandhi Bhavan. Thereafter, Mr. Shah will pay his respects at the memorial of Kondaji Basappa, who steered the Scouts and Guides movement in Karnataka. He will inaugurate a police public school in Kondaji situated in Harihar Taluk. Back in Davangere, the Union Home Minister will inaugurate a state-of-the-art central library at the GM Institute of Technology. More from our correspondent.
Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah will also inaugurate Police housing campus built at a cost of 15 crore rupees in Davangere. The high-tech library at GM Institute of Technology is built at a cost of 9 crore rupees. The Police Public Residential School to be dedicated by Union Home Minister is built at the cost of over 13 crore rupees in 10 acres of land. During the academic year 2022-23, 220 students including 60 girls will get admission here. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The meeting of the Goods and Services Tax (GST) Council will be held on 17th of this month. Ministry of Finance in a tweet said that Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will chair the 45th meeting of the GST Council at Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. The previous meeting of the GST Council was held via video conferencing on 12th June this year, during which tax rates on various COVID essentials were reduced till 30th September this year. During the meeting, goods and services tax rates were slashed on COVID drugs such as remdesivir and tocilizumab, as well as on medical oxygen and oxygen generation equipment and related medical devices in order to extend relief to the people. In Bihar, nomination for the first phase of Panchayat elections for the post of Mukhias, Sarpanch, Zilla Parishad members, Panchayat Samiti members and ward members began from today. In this phase, election will be held in 12 blocks of 10 districts including Gaya, Nawada and Aurangabad. Candidates can file their nomination paper till September 8th and scrutiny of nomination paper will be on September 11th. Withdrawal of nomination will take place on September 13th. Polling will be on September 24th and counting of votes will be held on September 26th and 27th. The elections to the three-tier Panchayati Raj institutions will be held in 11 phases from 24th of September to 12th December this year.
More than 66 crore 30 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Over 81 lakh vaccine doses were administered to eligible beneficiaries in the country during the last 24 hours. The Union Health Ministry in a statement said the country has reported 47,092 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The ministry said a total of 35,181 patients also recovered from the infection in the same period. The recovery rate currently stands at 97.48%. Daily positivity rate is at 2.8%. Over 64.65 crore vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far. The vaccines have been given through the central government free of cost channel and direct state procurement category. The Union Health Ministry said over 4.78 crore balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and UTs. Karnataka vaccinated 12,04,402 persons in a single day yesterday. The State Health Minister, Dr. K. Sudhakar, informed that the state surpassed the set target of vaccinating 10 lakh persons during the vaccination fest held yesterday. The state government has asked the health department and urban local bodies to vaccinate 5 lakh persons every day. The health minister has announced relaxation for students coming from Kerala to attend the NEET exam. He said the educational institutions have been asked to quarantine the students coming from Kerala for a week. Similarly, the companies hiring persons from Kerala have been entrusted with the responsibility of keeping such employees under quarantine.
International passengers arriving in Mumbai from a few countries will have to undergo a RT-PCR test at arrivals from tomorrow. All passengers arriving from other countries will also have to remain in compulsory home quarantine for at least 14 days after arrival. Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation has issued an order in this regard. A report from our Mumbai correspondent.
In view of new variants of coronavirus that have been detected recently, few days ago, the Maharashtra government announced that all the guidelines issued by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare will be applicable for international passengers entering the state. Earlier, fully vaccinated people were not required to submit negative RT-PCR report. Mumbai civic body has also issued similar orders which will be applicable from tomorrow. Accordingly, international passengers arriving from UK, Europe, Middle East, South Africa, Brazil, Bangladesh, Botswana, China, Mauritius, New Zealand, and Zimbabwe will have to undergo a self-paid mandatory RT-PCR test at the airport. RT-PCR testing facilities are available at a cost of 600 rupees per person. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
Maharashtra government has clarified that there are no plans to announce strict restrictions in the state. Health Minister Rajesh Tope said that the state government have already announced that further restrictions will be announced when daily oxygen usage will go beyond 700 metric tons. So it is expected that the upcoming Ganesh festival will be celebrated without much restrictions. At present, malls, restaurants and public spaces are allowed to open till 10 p.m. in many parts of the state. But cinema halls, theatre and religious places are closed. Schools and colleges are also closed at many places. Services of local trains are available to fully vaccinated people.
In Gujarat, offline classes for standards 6th to 8th resumed from today following the constant decrease in COVID-19 cases. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that the government guidelines and protocols for COVID-19 are being strictly followed. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Schools for standard 6 to 8 begin in Gujarat with 50% capacity to maintain social distancing. COVID-19 guidelines are being strictly followed during the classroom teaching. Written consent of the parents are necessary for the students to attend the classes. There are more than 30,000 schools in Gujarat. According to the sources, some schools will resume the physical teaching in a phased manner in coming days. Schools for above 9th standard and colleges had already opened earlier in a phased manner. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The Indian Navy handed over 2 mobile oxygen plants to Bangladesh. The Indian Navy offshore patrol vessel INS Savitri today delivered 2 mobile oxygen plants, MOP, to the government of Bangladesh to support its effort to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Each of the MOPs has the capacity to generate 960 litres of oxygen per minute. The MOPs have been developed and manufactured by DRDO in India. One MOP is to be set up at the Dhaka Medical College and Hospital, and the other plant is for the Bangladesh Navy to be set up at the BNS Patanga, said a press release of the High Commission of India in Bangladesh.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 4-day visit to Slovenia, Croatia and Denmark beginning today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to inaugurate a slew of projects in Karnataka. Over 66 crore 30 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.48%. Mandatory RT-PCR test for passengers arriving in Mumbai from Europe, China, Middle East and a few more countries. Kabul is set to announce the new Afghanistan government. In Bihar, nomination for the first phase of Panchayat elections begins. Chandan Mitra, former Rajya Sabha member and journalist, passes away. Vice President, Prime Minister and Information and Broadcasting Minister express grief. Indian Navy hands over 2 mobile oxygen plants to Bangladesh to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. India to take on England in the 4th cricket match today at the Oval, London. And on the 9th day of Tokyo Paralympics, Indian players participating in shooting, badminton, canoe sprint, taekwondo and shot put. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार के कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में 2 सितंबर गुरुवार को शाम 4:45 पर सुनिए देश की आजादी की लड़ाई में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देने वाली असम की आयरन लेडी चंद्रप्रभा साइकियानी की गाथा।
Welcome back to the Midday News. Kabul is set to announce the new Afghanistan government after discussions between the Taliban and Afghan leaders were finalized, as per reports by Afghan news agency Tolo News. Taliban leader Haifatullah Akhundzada will lead the new government, say reports, adding that a prime minister or president will likely work under the Taliban leader. Taliban official Ahmadullah Muttaqi said on social media that a ceremony was being prepared at the presidential palace in Kabul. A day after U.S. forces left the Kabul airport, a team of Qatari technical experts landed in the capital to discuss the resumption of airport operation. An AFP report said the discussion is ongoing and was initiated by Afghanistan. Meanwhile, in Panjshir, a senior Taliban leader said the group's fighters have surrounded the only remaining province resisting its rule. The leader called on rebels, which include former Afghan military commander, to negotiate a settlement with the group. The Uttar Pradesh government has ordered to form a special investigation team to inquire into the matter of illegal Twin Tower case in Noida. The Supreme Court had ordered the demolition of the Twin Towers that had come up in violation of building bylaws in a private construction company's housing project in Noida Sector 93. A report.
Taking stern action in the Noida illegal Twin Tower case, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has ordered to form an SIT for inquiry of the matter. The special investigation team will inquire the role of the Noida authority officers between 2004 to 2017. Chief Minister has asked to make a list of the officers responsible and take time-frame action against the guilty. Yesterday only, the Chief Minister has assured an inquiry and strict action against guilty officers in the case. He also directed officers to register a criminal case against guilty persons if need be, as he reviewed the matter in Lucknow. The Supreme Court had ordered the illegal Twin Towers to be razed within 3 months for violation of building norms in collusion with authority officials. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Chandan Mitra, former Rajya Sabha member and journalist, passed away last night. He was 65. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu called the two-time Rajya Sabha MP Chandan Mitra's death a personal loss. Condoling his death, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, Chandan Mitra ji will be remembered for his intellect and insights. Mr. Modi said he distinguished himself in the world of media as well as politics. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur also expressed grief over the demise of veteran journalist. Mr. Thakur said he was an immensely respected editor who led the Daily Pioneer and served as a Member of Parliament. Mr. Thakur said his vast experience and insightful understanding of issues always gave readers a new perspective. He said the passing away of Chandan Mitra is a huge loss for journalism.
Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri today questioned the UPA government's oil policy. In a series of tweets, Mr. Puri alleged that the previous regime saddled the future governments with oil bonds. He added that more than 1.5 lakh crore rupees of these bonds remain to be repaid, thus tying up crucial resources, limiting fiscal space and restricting financial freedom of oil marketing companies. The minister said the important exploration and production sector was fund-starved at that time. The minister's comments came in the wake of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi's criticism of the government over price rise of petroleum products. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said India will be fully self-reliant in weapons production in the next 2 years. Addressing the inaugural session of Gujarat BJP State Executive at Kevadia in Narmada district this morning, he said that India has exported defence production worth 17,000 crore rupees during the last 2 years. Mr. Singh said that the country has eliminated terrorism due to the able leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said that BJP is working on the ground to win the trust of the people. Referring to the paperless work of the state executive meeting, he said that the party has upgraded itself with the technology under the leadership of state BJP President C.R. Patil. The 3-day state executive meeting of BJP began in Tent City at Kevadia in Narmada district yesterday. According to sources, the state executive will discuss the roadmap for Mission 2022 for coming assembly elections.
The Central Bureau of Investigation has arrested former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh's lawyer Anand Daga. Mr. Daga is allegedly trying to subvert the Bombay High Court directed preliminary inquiry against the former minister. The agency has brought Daga, who was arrested in Mumbai, to Delhi on a transit remand. The advocate will be produced before a competent court, along with arrested CBI Sub-Inspector Abhishek Tiwari. The CBI has registered a case against its sub-inspector, a Nagpur-based advocate and unknown others on certain allegations including illegal gratification. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen now to our special program Azadi Ka Safar.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest movements the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
The day of 2nd September holds great significance in Indian freedom struggle, as on this day in 1946, the interim government of India was formed from the newly elected Constituent Assembly of India. It was for the first time since the coming of British that the government of India was in Indian hands, and this government had the task of assisting the transition of British India to independence. Originally, the government was headed by the Viceroy of India, but later it was transformed into a council of ministers with the powers of a Prime Minister bestowed on the Vice President of the Council. This position was held by Jawaharlal Nehru. Vallabhbhai Patel held the portfolios of Home Affairs and Information and Broadcasting. The interim government remained in place until 15th of August 1947, the date of the independence of India.
New Delhi. And although the scene looks quiet enough, there was naturally tense excitement when members of India's interim government, under the leadership of Mr. Nehru, went to the Viceroy's house. They were received by Lord Wavell, who was to administer the oaths of allegiance, of office and of secrecy, whereby Indian affairs passed into the care of an all-Indian cabinet.
The elections for the Constituent Assembly were not direct elections, as the members were elected from each of the provincial legislative assemblies.
Although India remained under the sovereignty of the United Kingdom until August 1947, the interim government proceeded to establish diplomatic relations with other countries, including the United States of America. The Constituent Assembly, from which the interim government was drawn, also began the task of drafting the constitution for independent India.
Today we also pay tributes to the transnational Indian revolutionary Virendranath Chattopadhyay, who left us on this day in 1937. He was brother of the famous freedom fighter Sarojini Naidu and renowned Bengali poet and musician Harindranath Chattopadhyay. During the first decades of the 20th century, he carried out anti-imperial and anti-colonial campaign outside India, first in
AIR News. See you in next episode tomorrow.
Moving on to sports, India take on England in the fourth cricket test match today at the Oval, London, with the series tied at 1-1. The action now moves to this test match. Here is a desk report.
Vice-captain Ajinkya Rahane's form and senior off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin's probable inclusion will be in focus as India look to move on from their Leeds debacle when they take on a stronger England team in the fourth test. The biggest problem in Indian team is the dismal performance of its three middle-order stalwarts. The skipper himself, his deputy Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara. Pujara might have redeemed himself with a knock of 91 which was high on intent quotient, but the same can't be said about Rahane, whose form is shaky despite a crucial 61 in the second innings at the Lords. The oval track has traditionally held spinners and therefore Ashwin, who had a 6-wicket haul in county game against Somerset, might just bring in his 400-plus wicket experience to trouble the English batters who have been wary of him in the past. But Kohli, whose fascination for four pacers is well documented, might want to replace an off-colour Ishant Sharma with Shardul Thakur, who is more of an all-rounder, and it is to be seen if Ashwin comes in place of Jadeja, who hasn't been penetrative enough. With Pratyush Ghosh, Tripti Srivastava from Sports Desk.
On the 9th day of the Tokyo Paralympics, Indian players are participating in shooting, badminton, canoe sprint, taekwondo and shot put. In shooting, Rahul Jakhar had to settle for 5th place in the final of the 25-meter range. Earlier in the qualification round, Rahul finished 2nd while Akash could not make it to the final. In the women's singles of badminton, Palak Kohli defeated Zehra Baglar of Turkey 2-0. Parul Dalsukhbhai Parmar lost to Hefang Chang of China. In Group A of men's singles, Noida District Magistrate Suhas El Yathiraj defeated Jan Pot of Germany 2-0. In Group B, Tarun defeated Thailand's Siripong Temarom 2-0. In another match, in Group B itself, Krishna Nagar defeated Didin Tariso of Malaysia 2-0. Prachi Yadav has entered the semi-finals in the canoe sprint heat event. In Taekwondo, Aruna had to face defeat in the quarter-finals.
World Coconut Day is being celebrated across the globe today. The day is celebrated to highlight and raise awareness about the importance and benefits of coconut. In India, the Coconut Development Board, CDB, conducts various events in different parts of the country on the occasion.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is predicted to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Temperature will rise from a minimum of 24 to a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain and the temperature will hover between 25 to 31 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Maximum temperature recorded 33 degrees. It recorded a minimum temperature of 25 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. It had a minimum temperature of 28 degrees, maximum expected to be around 35. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 14 and 29 degrees. Jammu will also have a mainly clear sky. It recorded 25 degrees Celsius as lower limit of temperature, while upper limit is expected to be nearly 33. Leh is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Lower limit of temperature was 8 degrees. Upper limit will be nearly 22. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 12 and 30 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers as well. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 4-day visit to Slovenia, Croatia and Denmark beginning today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to inaugurate a slew of projects in Karnataka. Over 66 crore 30 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.48%. Mandatory RT-PCR test for passengers arriving in Mumbai from Europe, China, Middle East and a few more countries. Kabul is set to announce the new Afghanistan government. In Bihar, nomination for first phase of Panchayat elections begins. Chandan Mitra, former Rajya Sabha member and journalist, passes away. Vice President, Prime Minister and Information and Broadcasting Minister expressed grief. Indian Navy hands over 2 mobile oxygen plants to Bangladesh to fight COVID-19 pandemic. India to take on England in fourth cricket match today at Oval, London. And on 9th day of Tokyo Paralympics, Indian players participate in shooting, badminton, canoe, sprint, taekwondo and shot put. And with that, we end the midday news.